No. Okay. I don't think so. You're going to make it his problem. I'm surprised I don't.
They're wanting to open a Kiwanis Club here.
Well, there's a really, really active one.
That's what they were telling me
It's either
about.
Siri
Yeah.
or it's Becky.
Becky.
Good. So,
Actually, I just sat next to Becky last night.
so what do they want to find out?
Yes. We are going to have a break.
I think there's a Lions Club locally here too.
Okay.
Dan is coming early.
Unincorporated.
Okay.
So he can sit and talk to you.
Gladstone,
Okay.
whatever.
Well,
I don't know how they're doing, but I know membership in Rotary is,
What his concerns are. If you want to ask, we ask them at that
could
time.
be,
Okay.
you know, I think
But the short
fewer
answer is
people are joining those kind of
questions.
organizations. I mean, that's just my take on it.
That's my take, and that was the conversation I had with them too.
Yeah.
But they, their big thing is the Key Club.
Right.
It's a leadership thing for high school kids.
Well, and
I remember Key Club when I was in high school, but I didn't do it.
I didn't do it either. I mean, I remember they had those kind of things, but, I mean, even back when I went to school, you know, but.
They had schools back when you were?
Was that the one-room schoolhouse?
It was actually part of the time.
Okay.
But, we're also trying to start a Rotaract or an Interact club, and we're working in fact with both Waldorf and with Route Middle School.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Thank goodness, no.
But, so who was?
There he is.
Hi.
Who was the person, who's the?
I'll give you a card.
Okay, all right, good. Now we all know who to expect our communication from.
All right, everybody ready to go?
Yep.
All right, then I'll call to order our study session. And the first order of business is the introduction of the new city manager.
No,
No, excuse me, no.
I'm not leaving.
That's how tired I am. By the new city manager of the new city attorney. I'm exhausted. I'll do this all night long.
Actually, I'll just turn it over to Justin to say hi and to talk briefly about his first day.
Well, hello,
Hi.
Council. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you taking a leap of faith and hiring me to be your city attorney. Just kidding. And today I spent the day with Ann, just touring the city and drinking from the fire hose of Milwaukee issues.
Yep. That's
And
true.
meeting a lot of people.
There'll be a quiz tomorrow. No,
Not tonight.
Not tonight. No, that's too much. No, it was a great day. We also have been figuring out some times for a number of issues coming up with the library and other things just to make sure that he's ready and on deck. So we'll know more next week. If he has questions for you, he may call you directly just to talk through those issues. Okay?
Cool.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, well,
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
very excited.
It's a historic moment in Milwaukee's world.
For sure.
Yeah.
Super happy to have you.
I'm proud to be a part of it and happy to be here.
Yay.
All right.
And you have an office in the old,
He has stolen the mayor's old office.
okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And people have been
That was
finding their way
not
in and
just
out
the
of it.
mayor's office, but
Yeah.
The mayor was the only one that ever used it.
I've used it occasionally.
Sorry, the council's office. Does that make up for you firing me today?
So we've all been kicked to the curb.
All been
not
kicked
just-
out, yeah.
No, we actually, and that is a great point. If you guys need a space while you are trying to conduct business, the little conference room right outside of Kelly's space it's prioritized for you. So if you need a space, just let us know and we'll make sure that we move other people out of the room so that you can have meetings in that space. Looks like we're probably a year out from when we'll have a solidified permanent new home for you. But we can make anything work. And then the other piece is that we've gotten early designs on the bay, I think, just as a heads up. So we'll be coming back to you with some of the fixtures and some of the design aesthetics, knowing that you guys wanted to make sure that the backdrop looked nice and that we were really creating a nice space for future generations. And it's looking great. Thank you to Scott and the team for doing that. So.
Cool.
Cool.
Great.
All right. Well, then next up is the Library Board Annual Update and Bylaws Review.
Hi, I'm Katie Newell, the Library Director, and I did not meet you today, but I'm going to probably have to be talking with you. So,
We did drive around in your parking lot a lot. Yeah.
hopefully not. And this is Jason Price. He's our library chair. And I just do want to say, Pond House has room too, if you need a meeting space. Just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah.
So
You guys have done a good job with that, by the way. I
and
got
the
to
pods have started to show up.
Have they? Yeah, I
Yes.
wondered.
Some pictures have been posted on the website.
Yeah.
We have 6 there now, so we're waiting for 6 more. So, so I went by and took pictures today. Because I went last night on my way home, and then I got this email. Well, did you take pictures? I'm like, no. Good idea. So, and I'm going to turn this over to Jason.
Hello. So in the last year, I'm not 100% sure when I did this last year, but in August of last year, we finished the radio frequency identification tagging, and it's fully operational. That was a big project, and it's been working great for the last year with the new checkout machines that have been a success. We have had great summer reading programs this year with a 23% increase in the number of children, the kids who have done it. We also had a large number of teens and adults. We had the filming of the TV show The OA in the library. And we had a very successful summer children's program at Ardenwald this year, not knowing if we were going to be in the current space or not. Went ahead and scheduled that at Ardenwald School, and that was well attended.
And actually, just a side note on that, it was so popular for us, and it worked out really well. We had bigger attendance than we could have had at the library because they just had a whole auditorium, a gym that we could fill up. And also right afterwards, they had the free lunch. Right. So, which we could do the free snacks last year, but this way we were able to offer the free lunches following our programs, and they had the cafeteria, and so it worked out perfectly. People would come for our program, they would go have lunch, and so to me, it was a win-win. I think it was kind of overwhelming to the school. They weren't expecting hundreds of people to be showing up, but we're hoping to work something out with them next year, too.
Do you think you would even do it there once the new libraries?
Just the fact that we were able to do the free lunches, I think it was a great way to do it. So we're going to see. They might say, no, you brought too many people to us. Really, because when we had Reptile Man, it was hundreds. Yeah. I think there was 300 people. Yeah. Wow. And so they were just like, oh, we didn't know you were going to bring that many people. But it worked out for them because the kids that go there in the morning, they all got signed up for summer reading. They all got a free book to choose from. So they thought that was great. And so overall, I thought it was a huge success. We're still working on Ardenwald to agree with us. Yeah. But they seemed pretty excited by the end of the summer when they got used to having 200, 300 people show up. Yeah.
Well, and I've heard that without the programming that you were doing, though, that the lunch program has struggled a little bit with attendance, and so maybe just with closer coordination, a balance can be struck rather than sort of the ebbs and flows. That might feel overwhelming when maybe you haven't been prepared previously for that. I
thought it was hugely successful. Yeah. We liked the ability to have more people come. So. Because some people would not come because they couldn't find parking, or there was just too many people jammed into the small, children's space.
Well, like you said, it seems like a win-win.
Yes. So, sorry.
We have continued to receive support this year from the Friends, and they have had very successful book sales all summer and First Fridays.
They've been averaging $4,000 a month that they're getting at the Sunday market and the First Friday.
The sales?
Yes. $4,000 a month. And all of that comes right to the library. So It's been huge.
So when they lose the bay, as I sent this to you in an email today, but we have a lot of space on Main Street that's unoccupied, and the owner of that space is a friend of Mr. Zumwalt. Is there any chance Mr. Zumwalt can help them find space?
I'm not sure. We are going to be, what will be different in the new library is that we will have space, a friend's store, and a sorting area for them. Right. So if we can just get through, and we're trying to work out where I drive a city van, load it up for Sunday and bring it over, and then they can have out in the driveway, you still have a presence there and won't be as big, but at least a presence as long as the farmers market's going on. After that, we haven't gotten that far. Right. So we're just trying for next year what plans we can do.
Yeah. Oh, it would be nice to use some of our empty space for something like that. Pop-up bookshop.
Yeah. I'm not sure Howard's happy with the city, so.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why I thought, Mr. Zumwalt is the linchpin. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
We've continued to participate in the Library District Advisory Committee, or LDAC. We have a member that regularly attends and participates, and I think she's
doing a great job.
Yeah, she's, I think, serving a real good purpose to.
And we will be next week. I'll be here. Jason doesn't have to come back next week about the IGA for the library district. So that will be next week. You can see me twice.
And of course, we have continued to move forward on the plans for the new library. It's been some stuttering steps along the way, but with the imminent closure now on the 24th of September of the library, it's happening.
And remind us the move-in date in the pods.
We hope that the movers will be here the first week of October, and then we will be opening officially on October 15th. If we can do it, we're going to open on the 13th, that weekend, and kind of have a soft opening. So that's kind of our goal. Just depends on how much work we can get done. But everybody's really excited, the staff, volunteers, and once we work out exactly how we're doing this move, we'll be calling our volunteers and saying, hey, we need you to come and help do this. So they keep on, people just keep on coming and asking, and it's like, okay, as soon as we know what we're doing, we'll let you know. We're also starting to panic. None of us are sleeping at night because all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, this is like real soon. So, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know that Councilor Beatty had some more direct questions that I have some answers to.
Oh, okay. The statistical questions?
Yes. Yeah. One was a typo. It should be 16.3% for the unique page views. All right.
Yeah.
16.3 we thought was about rounding, and somehow the 7 got put in.
Yeah.
And the Facebook users, we don't get 100% from Facebook on a breakdown like that, because if, say, the city, West Lynn Library likes the Letting Library page, it's not a person.
They're not all people. Okay.
But the very little of the remainder was for under 25, less than 4% was under 25, and there was actually broke it out some more. 45 to 54 was 18%, and 55 to 64 was 12%, with 9% over 65.
Okay. So that's the number that it's kind of what I expected. That's what we hear, that Facebook, young people don't use Facebook, that it's the older generations. So, but I was curious about that.
We're looking at ways to move into other
social media.
Yeah, I was going to say, so does that mean we need an Instagram account?
Possibly.
Well, and that is actually what we wanted to look into. Drop the Pinterest because that was only like 53, 54, but the Instagram seems to be the way to catch more people.
Do you have a Twitter account?
No.
Hey, that's it. Yeah, that's another one.
Do you have a Twitter account?
Okay, we have to hire more people then to monitor all of those.
No, I don't.
So, yeah, so we're doing what we can keep managed.
And as far as plans for the year ahead, been taking it slow because of the uncertainty. A lot of things are scheduled, though, and will continue. Waiting to see after the pods get put together what the space looks like in there as to what it can accommodate. But continuing to have the book club and reading group there are
That's what we hope to do.
priority.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to restart movie nights at the Pond House. So with the Pond House, depending on what size space we have there, we'll be able to have a fair number of programs. And now that certainty is setting in, we can look for other alternatives for whatever we need. But continue to have programs.
So the poetry series is happening. I've
Starts
seen
tomorrow
that.
night.
Starts tomorrow, okay, and the movie night. And so the cultural forum, you don't know if you'll do that next year?
Kind
or-
of dropped that one just to get a break, get some new names in, and we are, I think it's December 2nd, going to be having the Pulp Stage. People come in and do another presentation for us at the Pond House. But then we're going to pick up more speakers starting in January. We just kind of wanted to see how we fit into the pods. And
Sure.
We actually thought we were going to be moving in May. So then we kind of put everything on hold for the whole summer.
Right.
I think that's about all I have.
Yeah, because everything else, you have. Today, just as I was getting ready to come over, New York Times op-ed, to restore civil society, start with the library.
Oh, yeah.
So I print out a copy for everybody because I thought this was very important. And then also the library value calendar. I did this last year, and we are at 20,755,000. I don't have my glasses on. $26. And this is based on books you check out to people, programs you have, DVDs you rent out, just things that you provide to your community. And if someone were to try and buy the books or, even ebooks, I am so excited that our ebooks was up to over 31,000. When we first doing this, it was like 200. We were we were really at the bottom of the entire
I think
district.
I read most of those.
So it was really exciting that that's got up to 31,000 that checked out last year, ebook. So we're really very excited about that. We still have the, just today I had someone come in and want to use our wireless printing. They weren't a library card user. They just needed to print something out. They saw that we had it. They come into our library and say, they send themselves an email. It goes to the printer, and then they can check out, go and release it. And he was thrilled to pieces that this service was offered. We're one of the few people around here that do that. I think Westland also does it. But anybody, you can go in and say, where is wireless printing available? Luding Library.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus for us. That gets people to come in. Sarah's looking to do, and darn if I can remember what it is. It's not the newest Kindle, it's something else, and she's bought some units, and it's to do games, a gaming apparatus. And so she's really excited. She's getting that started. Probably when we move into the pods, we'll have those available. We're really looking forward to it. And speaking of the library project, I just want to make sure that any money that's left over from my budget, because we made lots and lots of cuts this year. We stopped ordering. We kept our hours down. We did a lot, and we were way under our expenses for this year. And moving forward, we do this so that anything that we have left over, because I was promised, right, that it can go into anything that we didn't would go over.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I just was looking at the budget, and it said that the city, in the budget, we were supposed to get money from taxes. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on, so I can't read fine print. $864,000 was the tax property, and they only gave us $825,000. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. I want that money then to go to the library project. You know, I mean, we didn't spend it. We didn't. So I really hope that it really does happen. So you all make sure, keep track, because we do need every penny we can get. So, and I'm fighting for this. You know, we spent $20,000 less than we had budgeted for personnel services, and we spent $15,000 less in our supplies and everything. And when you consider we only had budgeted $193,000, that's huge, that we cut back that much in our supplies budget. But everybody is doing it because they all so firmly believe in what we're doing. They have to. Otherwise, they can leave. So I just want to hand these out.
That kind of gets me to another question I had for the board, I guess, is how much do you guys interact with the Friends? And there's also a foundation, right? There's the Friends and the foundation. And are the Friends and the foundation both 501c3s? Yes. Okay.
The Friends, we usually have Sandy Armstrong, who's the chair, the head of the Friends, attends many of our meetings and gives us updates and lets us know what's going on.
So I guess the reason I ask is that, the Friends do great stuff. Their plant sale and their book sale, and they raise lots of money for the library, but they've never had much online presence. They've never had much outreach. I mean, they have occasionally, when I was neighborhood chair, there was, occasionally they would come through and talk to the neighborhood about joining the Friends, maybe once every 3 or 4 years. But it just seemed to me maybe there was an opportunity for the board members, to sort of help give some guidance to the Friends and help get the Friends to have more of a online presence. And like for me, I've been willing to make a donation to the library, and I know I could drop a check with Ann or Katie, but can I find a place online to donate to the library project? Why is that not out there? I know there is one, but it's not being promoted. It's not being promoted.
Library donations.
Yeah.
I mean, how to help. It's on the library webpage.
Yeah.
Just click here and it takes you to the PayPal for the foundation.
Well, I sure haven't seen any
promotion. It wasn't on the one pager either.
Yeah.
So we are missing some promoting.
We are, and there were a number of problems. We were in court until about 2 weeks ago, and that really slowed down our fundraising efforts. We've been meeting with the foundation for the last 2 weeks, trying to get them up to speed, and we have a local fundraiser who's offered her services for free. She's connected with the Friends, and they're trying to come up with a package for them to go out and make these requests. The group itself has not been a terribly technological group. It's not their comfort area. They feel better with hard ask. The good news is they're making those hard asks, and we actually had, I believe, originally thought they were going to contribute $23,000, and they're up to $36,000.
And that's without doing anything yet.
Yeah.
And they were very interested. Jennifer Allen came in and spoke with the group last week. Well, just a couple. And then we're going to go back to the whole group and say this is what is available. And she was very, very helpful. She was chair of the Multnomah County Friends.
She was.
Yeah, and so she knows a lot about libraries and what is needed at them. So we're trying to keep this.
You're doing good. When you come back to talk about the IGA,
Yes.
I'll be curious to know if you guys are tracking what the conversations the county is having with Gladstone and Oak Grove, and how they're finagling those finances to make those projects happen, and whether there's an opportunity in there for us to increase
The county contribution.
to our building.
Yep. I have that same question. Yep.
Our service area is not going to change. That would be the only way that we could get more money from the county for that. They have been saving money and putting it aside from the money that for the Oak Grove Library. They have been putting that aside for the building. And it was supposed to be the Gladstone Oak Grove is going to be out in Webster Road, and when that all fell through, the county still had that money. And that's pretty much why the lawsuit happened. Gladstone wanted that money.
Well, so, I mean, Gladstone got money, right, once, and then spent it all on a library they didn't build, right? So every library was supposed to get $1 million. But when you say they banked Oak Grove's money, you mean like their operating money? It's not their capital. There was capital money, and then there's operating money, right?
They were keeping the money that they did not spend on, because so
that's $1 million, or
no? They have $1 million as well, and then they were saving money, able to put money aside because they weren't. It's a very small building, and they didn't have the staff. They just got a children's librarian a couple of years ago, so they were keeping things small.
So there's a couple of things in this. One is Laura Zettner is actually going to be presenting, and she is the person who is the finance director over all of the transitions. She is the best person to answer questions about the funding. The current interlocal actually does not allow us to expend our operating money on our hard costs, and so I'd actually be surprised if they've been given a green light to save those dollars, but I think that's a fair question if they have been, and we can ask those questions too.
Yeah, because I know they have like $1.5 million put aside now for that library, which we all know is not enough for anything. But
Nope.
No. So, but they were able to put that away for that. Any other questions? Come on, I told Jason we'd be out of here.
I don't have questions. I'll just comment on, you look through this list of things that you do, and it's amazing, and we have such a wonderful library, and so I'm very thankful of what you both do. And we're very excited about next year, what we're going to have, and how things are going to go. Thank you for all your work, especially in this trying time, and I know that this has been a difficult year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, ditto.
We enjoy it, and the community gives back to us so much, They make it easy, and so we all have a very dedicated staff. And they've all been there longer than me, except for like 2 people. So they never leave. They stay. And they stay because they love it here, and they love the community, and community gives it right back to us. So we like that, being in that position. So, and when I read some of those, that article, and they're talking about libraries closing and branches having to close, it's like, no, ours just keeps on growing. Even when we weren't doing as many programs and things, people still came. We had over 1,000 people come in our doors yesterday. Why? I have no clue. But they did. And so, and this is the kind of thing, it's like, wow, okay, they still want us here. So it's good.
And am I remembering correctly that membership in the Friends of the Library is only $100 for lifetime membership?
Lifetime membership for $100.
I recall, that it seems to me that I brought information for all of my fellow council members some time ago on that. And
Strong yes.
I am honored to be a member of the Friends of the Library and a lifetime member, and I think it would be great if all of us were. Just saying.
So I should accidentally put some membership forms in everybody's.
That could probably be,
wow.
And then we could tell other people about the great benefits and about, how to access information and how they can get reminders on internet, email and,
Thank you, Wilda.
All right. Next up, we have the Bulky Waste Event Debrief. You're going to have a fun night, aren't you?
I am. So in the intro of this evening, hi, I am Reba. That's not right. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because we do have some other items to get through. So today I want to talk to you about our third annual bulky waste event. With me here today is Andy Cahoot with Hoodview, Dean Kemper of Waste Management, two of our partners in the bulky waste. I know you got the staff report and everything. The event, if this will work, yes, was a joint effort between us and our 3 haulers. We have a couple photos from the event, from the good stuff. People actually did listen to our marketing this year and tied wood together instead of leaving sticks for the haulers to pick up, which was nice. Most people bagged some stuff. There was some really good stuff out there that happened this year. There was some in-between stuff. And, of course, there was always the unacceptable items that were left out. Some improvements that we made this year, we divided the city, as we talked about, that allowed the haulers to complete each area in one day. So the residents weren't left with their neighborhood full of trash for a week and the rain and all of that. We did some more promotion this year. Additionally, staff was on site on both days to answer any questions by the residents and be able to answer their calls and go visit them and talk to them.
So you rode around with haulers, or you were just answering a phone line?
I was actually in the field in my car. Okay. Actually, I was in the city car one day, my car the other day, and I was supporting the haulers, making sure that residents got their questions answered. In any event like this, there's some residents that come up and say, well, the haulers, to my next slide, we developed these oops tags. Your stuff wasn't prepared correctly. 3 days later, I get a call. Well, we prepared them now. Okay. Great. We'll be back next year to pick those up for you. Anyway, so additional improvements that we did is the event is now scheduled for the same weekends every year. So there's some more consistency for the residents. In the past couple of years, we kept getting calls. When are you going to do this? When is it? It's going to be consistent. They have a source of information. The oops tags actually were really good. We only used 57 of them. 56 of them, though. Yeah. So that was really good. Did I just go backwards? Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. So the numbers. This year was a little bit cheaper than last year. The reason for that, my guess, is the haulers had a lot more efficiencies this year. Because we divided the city, they didn't have to circle back and do recovery of people that got skipped, or, oh, I put my trash out after they went down my street. We had a lot more consistency and a lot more efficiencies built into the system this year, so it was a little cheaper. So overall, like I said, we used 56 oops tags. Labor costs were about $44,000, 104 tons, 134 tires, customer count, and costs including city staff to be on site for both days. Waste management used 35 of those tags. You can see their costs are about $50,000. Hoodview used 21 tags. Total cost about $7,000. Clackamas Garbage didn't use any tags, and I will tell you that that day that they picked up is the normal route for those 11 customers in the city, and they did not note any additional waste put out for this event. So that's why their costs are pretty much
Zero.
Yeah.
Their normal day is a Saturday?
For those 11 customers, yeah. So, for 2019, we would like to do some more education and some more resources because obviously we don't want to pick up, this is not a recycling event. Everything that got picked up went to the landfill. Our desire, of course, is not to have items like this put in the landfill. Everybody gets a recycling box. That's where these items should go. We want to continue support our haulers and the use of the tags because obviously this is...
Was that one house?
That is one house.
Oh, my.
That is one house right there. And I do have to tell you, a lot of credit goes to our haulers. I mean, these two gentlemen and their crew picked up pretty much everything that was out there. So this entire thing got picked up. Wow. So kudos to our haulers. We want to do some more social media promotion, just some education. So just to recap it, this was the most successful event we've had out of the 3 ones, I think. In 2019, if council wants to continue this, we would like to see the same procedures in place. We still have the website up and running, gives residents a place to go throughout the year to get information. We expect increase in participation next year just because it's now set for a certain weekend every year. Costs are going to be kind of an unknown. The recycling market and trash solid waste world is kind of don't know where it's going to go. We'll see what happens. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
So let's remind folks what those weekends are.
Oh, you would ask me that one, too.
First and second.
It is the 2nd and 3rd Saturday in June.
Okay.
So tires are going straight into the landfill, or are those being separated out?
Tires, I think, were the only thing that got separated.
That's what I thought. I wonder if there would maybe be any value in doing like the pre-weekend to that, picking up metal, because the metal recycling right now is...
Well, I do know that because I was out there, there were a lot of houses I saw in the neighborhood with trucks full of metal that were not our haulers.
So people were collecting the metal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's also...
that's the other way, is we could just let all the scrap people know that come work the streets.
Yeah, well, there's a big dilemma there because the trash actually belongs to the resident till it goes to the curb. Once it's at the curb, it belongs to the haulers. Because if we do pick it up before and recycle it, that of course decreases the cost of this. But I also fear if we do the weekend before you pick up the metal, that'd be okay for 2 of our haulers, but for waste management, they operate on both those days.
Right.
So they would have to operate 3 weekends in a row. That might hugely increase the cost of this. And if you do it just for metal, and I'm just theorizing, if people catch wind of that, they're going to go pick up the metal. So Waste Management or Hoodview are going to go out to pick up the metal. It's not going to be there. The cost is going to outweigh the revenue they're going to get, and which, of course, is just going to be...
Right. I'm just trying to figure out a way to to try and get the metal out of the landfill.
I was looking for my...
separated.
Well, and not just the metal, but, I mean, there are some things that are recyclable, like right now. I mean, we know lots of things aren't anymore, but we know locally you can recycle styrofoam, and so it kills me to see styrofoam going in these trucks. And, could we do some kind of, maybe it's not the haulers collecting, maybe it's like affiliated with the farmer's market or something, have a drop day. Do a recycle drop day a week or 2 before.
Well, I'll tell you, the entire event bothered me to see all of these things out there that could be recycled, reused. There was a lot of it. I think that if we wanted to do something like that, like maybe have a drop box at the farmer's market or located near it for metal, say one of the days, but then the question comes to not to point fingers, but who gets to do it? Who gets the money? You or which one of you gets the? One of you get tires, and one of you get metal. One of you has so there's
Tires.
And also if you do that, that's also maybe considered a transfer station, which Metro does not allow us to do.
Right.
So there's a whole bunch of other.
So
I would rather do more increase education on.
Reba, microphone.
I'd rather do some more education and some more social media presence on, hey, save the planet, do this. Don't put your cardboard out, recycle it. You can recycle your styrofoam. We do currently link to all of those resources on our website, which is up now year-round, which I think may help reduce the tons, but increase participation as well. But I don't know how to solve it.
So Nikki Wick did a
Electronics recycling. So did the market, but those guys aren't doing that stuff anymore. I don't know why, but it's hard to find somebody to do it because you can do the drop-off at Goodwill, because all Goodwills are the e-recycles, and so the people who used to do those
old
collection
TVs.
events aren't really doing them anymore.
The old TVs, though, the box TVs, you're not supposed to take to Goodwill any longer, if I understand correctly. That's what I need is where can I get rid of my old TV?
Well, and there's restrictions too on the event, like e-waste is not acceptable, but credit to the haulers, they picked up a billiard table, a full-size one, before I noticed it was there. So I think we need to continue to support them too in these tags to say, hey, we're not going to pick this stuff up. You can recycle this at this place. You're over the limit with your
billiard table.
10 boxes of cardboard.
Right.
You need to recycle this in this manner. So I think there's different ways we could do it. I don't know. I think the support of the haulers is better.
Did you notice more recyclable material this year than the previous 2 years? Or is it trending the same?
I'd say it's about the same, but I also wanted to point out that this material is dry waste, so it goes to a processing facility that processes it. So the tires get pulled out, the metal gets pulled out, the wood gets pulled out, and the cardboard gets pulled out.
All right, because she said it's all going to landfill, and I was like,
yeah, so I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Great.
And then there's the two state programs. One is product stewardship for paint, which is at the different paint stores, and then the e-waste, which includes TVs as well. Those programs are in place.
That's great.
But we have had, Reba and I early on had a conversation about the amount of scrap, just in terms of loss of revenue to this program, in terms of our costs that we then get back charged for. Different communities have handled it differently to try and secure that metal waste. You can do it by putting rollout containers, but we don't have enough of them to do enough of our community as fast as we'd want to do it. It makes it harder for people to pull stuff out of those containers in order to take them. It does help with runoff, because you have less piles just sitting around on a wet day. We're going to keep talking, but I will say, I just have to second Reba, this was far better than the 2 previous years, and it was an exceptional event. I really appreciated all the time and effort.
And people love it. Yeah. People love it.
It's very popular.
I can't imagine why we wouldn't continue to move forward with it.
Yeah. And I will tell you, in terms of the social media stuff you want to do, the farmers market, we've been doing recycling tip of the week on our Facebook page for a couple months now, and it's the single most popular thing we do. People love it. People are like, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, they're all, and we have the master recyclers at the farmers market to answer questions too. Yeah.
So we would like to do next year's event exactly the way we did this year's event, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Seemed to work really well.
I would say the complaints I got were a lot less this year.
Oh, yeah, it's just like you said in your staff report, it's the people who live outside Milwaukee complaining because they're not getting picked out.
Hey, maybe that's a reason to annex in, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Andy and I had a conversation about one of those, and I think Ann was involved in that as well.
Someone keeping a list of all those reasons? Because I
For
feel like we've said that a
annexation.
few times in the last few weeks.
Should have a,
Well, and I think there's more understanding by the residents, too, that this is not a free event, that it does get rolled into their rates. So, the more they can recycle and reduce on their own, and, additionally, the people that are over the size limit, you can call these guys any day of the week, and they will come pick up your stuff for a fee.
Right, but the fee is more than that, what those additional costs for the year is. You measure that by 12 months, and I had to have a mattress hauled away, and it cost me more than that additional thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll ask the haulers if in other jurisdictions with this issue with the scrap metal and it being taken early, is there lessons learned from other jurisdictions that do this? Is there thoughts on how we can do that differently?
It's been a continual problem, and in some jurisdictions, we've actually changed the program and gotten away from the curbside because so many out-of-city people were coming into the streets in the middle of the night, and people kind of have a problem with that. So it's something I think we should monitor. There were some thefts of materials, so we've kind of gotten away from this type of a program. And the other communities that we serve, where we used to do this, the city of Sandy is the only other one that we serve that continues to do a curbside program. But we may be looking at that in the future. And
was that primarily because of this issue of the scrappers and
multiple issues, but in addition to people bringing material in from outside the city and placing it at the curb was another issue that has come up. The longer these programs continue, the word gets out.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, although we had a lot of worry about that the first time. That was something that the staffer who was setting this program up the first year was really worried about, that we'd see a lot of that, people bringing in the stuff, calling all their neighbors who live east of the border or whatever, their friends or relatives, and I have not heard that that's really actually been a problem.
I don't think it's been a huge problem, but last year when we did it, I really don't believe anybody has 6 mattress sets laying around their house. I really don't believe anybody has 3 refrigerators, or the main picture showed, I think I counted 8 TVs at one. I just would think that when you buy a new mattress, they bring it and they haul your old one away. Same with your refrigerators. So I think there's a little bit of that, but I think with more support or the continuation of the tag saying, hey, we're not going to pick up 4 stoves.
Right.
Great. I will say this year, though, there was a lot of bathroom remodels. There was a lot of commodes out there. But I think it's getting better, because if we continue to use these tags and continue to educate the residents that, you can't, this is for your benefit, all of the residents are paying for this together, so it's to benefit the residents, not your friends
your
around
uncle
cabin
across the street or something.
But again, I think I commend the haulers. They picked up pretty much, unless it was hazardous, everything out there. So.
Yeah, I think what we find interesting is communities that we do this in, you would think over time there would be less and less tonnage, but we don't see it. Typically, we see the tonnage continue to grow, which is what I think Andy's experienced as well. And that's why we think it's coming from friends and relatives bringing it into the community. But.
You don't get 2 new stoves every year? Me neither.
Any other questions, comments?
No. Thank you.
Program.
I think let's do it again next year. Thanks. All right. I believe with that we are adjourned for the special study session, and we will have a special session starting at
6:30.
6:30. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.